This week on ANN, an administrative committee takes an important step forward in the unity process.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Romania aids after severe flooding in the country.
And an Adventist University wins gold at the World Choir Awards.
These stories and more are coming up.
Thank you so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, the Seventh-day Adventist Church's General Conference Administrative Committee recently voted a document recommended by the Unity Oversight Committee.
The recommendation came after 9 months of listening and consultation with church entities around the world. The recommendations also outline a process of addressing entities not in compliance with the actions of a General Conference session, the GC Executive Committee, or working policy.
The outline process includes setting up a number of compliance review committees that will address specific issues of noncompliance and will make recommendations to the General Conference Administrative Committee.
The Unity Oversight Committee was informed by quantitative and qualitative data gathered from church leaders worldwide, as well as dialogues with the 13 world divisions, General Conference Leadership Council, and GC institutions. Comments from executive committee members during previous annual councils were also considered.
The Office of Archive, Statistics, and Research was tasked with developing a questionnaire and administering a survey of all union and division presidents worldwide.
As reported by ANN previously, all those surveyed submitted a response, even though in some cases they chose not to answer all the questions. Those results showed a majority of the World Church's union presidents favored some kind of process for dealing with noncompliance.
Following standard process and protocol, the document voted today by GC AdCom will also be discussed by the General Conference and Division Officers Committee. It will then be sent to the GC Executive Committee at its annual council this October for consideration.
You can read the document Regard for and Practice of General Conference Session and General Conference Executive Committee Actions and Terms of Reference for Compliance Committees on news.adventist.org.
The Adventist Development and Relief Agency, or ADRA, recently stepped in to provide assistance after 20 counties in Romania were affected by heavy rainfall and flooding. Under the project name Hope Above Water, ADRA Romania provided first aid, food, water, and hygiene articles on site. Currently, the damage is difficult to estimate and the needs are great. The most destitute and vulnerable are the elderly, especially those who have no help from relatives close by. Robert Georgescu, Country Director for ADRA Romania, said, ADRA Romania joins the call wholeheartedly for solidarity with the flood victims and will provide emergency humanitarian intervention, building materials, and support for rebuilding homes. We are called to be the extended arms in addition to material and financial donations that are so much needed these days. All volunteers can find a place in this humanitarian intervention. Stefan Tomoyaga, president of the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Romania, echoed this statement as he encouraged Adventists in the country to get involved and bring comfort to the flood victims. For more information and to find out how you can support, please visit adra.ro.
Congratulations to Oakwood University Aeolians as they took home multiple medals at the 10th World Choir Games. The World Choir Games are the world's largest choir competition. This year, the competition was held in Sewanee, South Africa. The Oakwood University Aeolians achieved the highest scores in 2 categories. They competed in the categories of spirituals, contemporary music, and university and college. The group also won 3 gold medals, 2 of which were for championships at the biennial event. The Aeolians repeated their gold medal wins from the 2012 World Choir Games in Cincinnati, Ohio, United States. During the 11-day competition, the Aeolians competed with more than 14 other choirs from around the world. Oakwood University President Leslie Pollard said, "We are delighted to acknowledge to the glory of God the hard work and sacrifice of the Aeolians and their leadership. Congratulations to choir conductor Jason Ferdinand, our music department, and especially our devoted students who composed this world-renowned group." For more information, visit oakwood.edu.
I don't take time to pay no mind, 'cause I hate not long Tuesday. I don't take time to pay no mind, 'cause I hate that long Tuesday.
More than 8,000 people were served during a 3-day mega clinic in Puerto Princesa, Philippines. It was the largest medical mission in the province's history. The mega clinic was a joint effort of Adventist World Radio and LifeSource International Medical Clinics, a humanitarian service associated with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. The clinic aimed to give a wide range of free medical services to the Palawan people. The patients weren't the only people blessed by the event. The more than 300 volunteers were also blessed to participate in the medical clinic.
Well, it's been a blessing. My favorite part of all of these events is getting to pray with the patients and just get to intercede on their behalf to the Lord for them. And so I asked them if there's anything that they want me to pray for, and I pray for them, and I continue to pray for them when I return home. So while I know they feel like we're blessing them, I also receive a blessing because I'm able to help them. As a medical doctor, you can only do so much. All healing comes from God, and so I'm grateful that I can intercede on their behalf.
Services such as dental care, medical consultation, minor surgeries, optical services, laboratory workups, pharmacy, and counseling were all available to the patients. This clinic was a preliminary event leading towards the Palawan for Christ evangelistic meetings, which began in the City Coliseum on July 13th. The meetings will run through July 29th. Dr. Leela Lewis, head organizer of the clinic, shared why this clinic was so important.
You know, what I've realized is that we are a global church with a global mission. And that is what's been so special to me about participating in Life Source International Mega Clinic, Adventist World Radio Life Source International Mega Clinic. And that to me says, you know what? Jesus gave us a great gospel commission. And when we work together, regardless of what part of the world we're coming from, God has great success in store for us.
After all patients from different wards and departments were tallied, statistics show that the mega medical clinic served 8,742 patients over the 3-day period.
Loma Linda University School of Dentistry was awarded federal funding for the 16th consecutive year by the Health Resources and Services Administration's Ryan White HIV/AIDS program. The grant of more than $290,000 will provide community-based HIV/AIDS training for dentistry, international dentistry, and dental hygiene students.
According to the Director for Educational Assessment at Loma Linda's School of Dentistry, Yunhui Unicho, 20% of HIV-positive patients don't know they have the infection. It is estimated there are about 45 to 50,000 new infections that occur every year in the United States.
The funding supports clinical training, oral health services for patients with unmet needs, and the development of innovative models in dental care for people living with HIV/AIDS.
Students are required to participate in 8 hours of training over the course of 2 days. Their studies include take-home case studies, mini lectures, classroom role play, and live patient interviews.
More than 2,000 dental hygiene, and international dental program students at Loma Linda University School of Dentistry have received this valuable training to treat community patients who are HIV positive.
Student feedback over the years has shown that their knowledge, skills, and attitudes have improved when it comes to helping patients, and according to Cho, has helped to reduce the stigma of HIV and AIDS.
The funding supports the school's initiatives for the next 5 years, while once a year the institution will apply as a non-competitor to maintain funding. For more information, visit dentistry.llu.edu.
Coming up, ADRA Fiji holds a gardening workshop on the small island.
But up next, 2 prisoners in Ukraine are changed because of Hope Channel.
Have you ever been to a concert or a sporting event, or really anywhere where people gather for one purpose? When they come together, especially for the same reason, often something amazing happens. At the apex of the gathering, be it a touchdown or a concerto, or a political gathering, or what have you, people stand up and they begin to clap, and they cheer, and it's beautiful to watch, to see so many people gathered for the same reason. But sometimes, something else happens as well. Sometimes, the clapping moves from just random noise to a very clear and undeniable cadence. The clapping moves from disunity to unity. And rooms, arenas, stadiums are brought together in a deep sense of unity towards the same mission, the same goal. That unity, it comes from a deep sense of gratitude, and it's spontaneous in its inception. It just happens, and it's clear in its mission. Such is the idea of unity from diversity. And this is a deeply biblical concept. The church is unified as it is the body of Christ. Not the same, we're not all hands or feet or eyes, but some of us are the guts, the thighs, and the toes of the body of Christ. But we are brought together for a mission, and that mission is to live in gratitude, to know that we are saved.
Welcome back.
Hope Channel Ukraine is shown throughout the country to inspire people and share messages of Christ.
Now we will hear from 2 people in prison whose lives were changed because of the Christian channel.
The Adventist Church in Eurasia sent this report.
Собі соперлою, каже, пшенична підлила буряк.
У мене мами нема вже 9 років, а тата нема в листопаді 2 роки. Про що я не жалію? Це про те, що в мене є дитина. Про те я не жалію. І не жалію про те, що вона зараз знаходиться коло бабці, коло тьоті, що не десь там, чи в інтернаті, чи так як забирають. Нагодований і вдягнутий, чистенький, такий пампушок. Перш хочуть, я мрію вийти звідси, сидіти вдома з дитиною. Щоб дитину дати в садик, в школу. Більше всього я жалію про те, що я скоїла цей злочин. Молюся кожен вечір, прошу, щоб Господь Бог мені простив, але цього вже назад не вернеш, не знаю, можливо.
Тобі страшно?
Та-да. Та від 7 до 10 років. Я як вже собі так рахувала, вийду, там, наприклад, 10 років, то буде дитині вже 12, а мені 32. Ми своєю подільницею побили людину, внаслідок чого місяць після того він помер, і нам загрожує від 7 до 10 років позбавлення волі.
На прогулку виходимо кожного дня, по годині часу гуляємо. Так, в день. Ми тут радіємо, що коли на свіданку там з рідних хтось приїде, це саме більша радість тут. Мама тільки там буває, там може раз у рік приїхати, може раз в 5 років, як коли вийде. Хочеться зараз бути там вдома, в селі, попробувати знову почати жити нормальним життям. Трохи футболу там побігати, так, знайомий.
Ви сіли вперше в 20 років?
Відбував покарання 5,5 років. Освободився і жив, поїхав в село. В тому селі десь вбили жінку. Мене зразу забрали. Мене за півгодини засудили, навіть свідків нікого не викликали до суду. Дали довічне позбавлення волі. Зараз я написав в ООН по правам людини, чекаю відповідь.
Я дуже радий, що тут у кабельній мережі телевізійній є канал «Надія». Я за всіх не можу сказати, але за тих людей, які дивляться канал «Надія», я бачу, що їхнє сприйняття досить нормальне і бачу в них посмішку, бачу надію, яка загорається. Тому воно діє на те, свідомість людини міняється, коли людина дивиться християнський канал.
До того я рідко коли читала Біблію. Дивилася трохи телеканал «Надія» і от ходила до Василя Яковича, більше читаю вже Біблію.
Час від часу дивлюся, що люди, які там, хоч вони інваліди чи ще щось, вони все, якась надія, хоч маленька, але в них є. Ну, так само я малесеньку надію маю, що може щось колись зміниться в моєму житті на краще.
Ті передачі, які показує телеканал «Надія», потрібні, тому що це буде урок для того, щоб не сидіти просто, а взяти Біблію, прочитати і осознати, що правильно робити, а як неправильно.
Коли я говорю з Богом, прошу прощення і щоб допоміг моїй мамі, щоб вона була здорова. І якщо у кого є бажання, можливість помолитися за мене, то я буду дуже радий тому.
Я прошу глядачів, щоб помолилися в першу чергу за мого синочка Сашу, за мою бабусю, за всю велику родину. Ну і щоб помолилися, щоб мені Бог допоміг, щоб я звідси вийшла.
Хочу побажати глядачам. В житті бувають різні ситуації, але щоб надія була в них на краще, ніколи не впадали в депресії.
Иисус, Ты любовь моя, мое спасение, и о Тебе сейчас я говорю. Ты жизнь подарил мне в этом мире, за что от души благодарю. К Тебе молюсь и каюсь, и о грехах своих я говорю. Иисус, прости меня, молитвы своей я прошу. Мне не надо ничего, кроме веры и спасения. Ісус, скажу тобі одну, ти моє творіння.
"290 people from across communities in San Salvador completed a small business training course and were given tools and equipment to sustain their families. This annual initiative, known as Viva Mejor, or Live Better, gives men and women who are in need of work and have no training an opportunity to receive vocational education free of charge. This initiative was made possible thanks to an ongoing partnership between the Seventh-day Adventist Church in El Salvador and the Swiss-owned Advent Stiftung Foundation. During the past 3 years, nearly 1,000 families have benefited from the initiative, an average of 329 families per year. As this is a Christian-focused initiative, each individual who receives a certificate also receives a new Bible. The Viva Mejor project provided griddles for tortilla making, welding kits, carpentry tools, sewing machines, cosmetology kits, and more during the ceremony held earlier last month. For more information, visit news.adventist.org.
A 2-day gardening workshop in Lautoka, Fiji has shown participants the techniques for starting and improving home gardens.
Participants from communities in Nadi and Lautoka attended the workshop, which was a collaboration between the Adventist Development and Relief Agency and the National Food and Nutrition Center.
The participants were also shown Fiji's non-communicable disease statistics, highlighting the importance of planting their own food and also the need to eat organic fruits and vegetables.
Across the South Pacific, people are dying from non-communicable diseases at an alarming rate. It has been called a pandemic. It is hoped the program will help reduce the number of deaths and also improve the health and lifestyle of the participants.
The workshop was part of the Fiji Pro-Resilience Project, which is funded by the European Union. The project targets 25 communities in Nadi, Lautoka, Ba, and Tavua.
ADRA Fiji has partnered with several development agencies, government ministries and departments, educational and research institutions, and donors to provide development programs for communities throughout the country.
The agency has developed excellent relationships with both international and local non-government organizations and community-based organizations in Fiji, as well as fostering partnerships with other organizations to support its objectives.
Coming up, Emily Mastrapa shares how your church can get involved in End It Now Emphasis Sabbath.
But up next, Adventist Mission shares the story of how a woman found Jesus in Taipei.
Frightening fact.
The forecast, plenty of
Not fooling anybody. What did you do with the rock? Get the rock.
Metabolic syndrome is high blood pressure, obesity, and resistance to insulin, and is related to, well, a quick trip 6 feet under. Physical activity can help keep you from dying, but most everyone isn't taking this thing called exercise to heart. These doctors recommend us to get 30 minutes of moderate activity 5 days a week, or 20 minutes of intense aerobic activity 3 days a week. Give me a couple days to digest those numbers and these potato chips, and I'll get back to you on that one.
But there's hope.
So it may be hard to meet all the recommended guidelines for exercise. Well, in a recent survey of over 50,000 people with metabolic syndrome, if they just exercise a little bit each day, they dramatically decrease their chances of an early exit. Bottom line, a little exercise makes a big difference.
Welcome back. Helen came to know about Jesus through a Life Hope Center in the heart of Taipei.
The Adventist Church operates the Taiwan Adventist Hospital, Songshan Adventist Church, a media studio, a publishing house, and a Life Hope Center, all on the same block.
Adventist Mission has more.
In the heart of this large city, the Adventist Church operates the Taiwan Adventist Hospital, Songshan Adventist Church, a media studio, a publishing house, and an urban center of influence, all on the same block. The Urban Center of Influence is the newest addition. It was started in 2015, thanks to your contributions to the 13th Sabbath offering. Helen Yen lives in Taipei. Through a connection with the hospital, she began volunteering at the Adventist Center of Influence established on the first floor beneath the church. She always wanted to serve the community and became one of the center's few founding volunteers. At this center, the church offers classes on Alzheimer's disease, a major challenge in the community. Locals can also enroll in cooking, health, and exercise courses. During the week, about 70 people attend the Alzheimer's classes alone. Through music and interactive activities, Alzheimer's patients and their families find ways to cope with this progressive disease. The center's nutrition and cooking classes are also making an impact. People from all backgrounds value the Seventh-day Adventist outlook on health and wholeness. So far, some 400 people have visited Taipei's Adventist Church through the influence of this center. Helen was also personally impacted by the activities here. Volunteering gave her a new sense of fulfillment and joy. She began to visit the center on weekdays and was soon attending Bible classes led by Brenda, the center coordinator. Helen studied about the sacredness of the seventh-day Sabbath for the first time. Her life began to change, and she wanted to share the truth she found with everyone.
I like to come here every day. I just want to use myself, my only self, my language, touch the people, connect the people. I will think I can use the words in the Bible's truth and let them know I'm a Christian.
Helen continues to serve at the center and is preparing for baptism. She is one of the first fruits of a successful ministry that began in 2015. This center started because of Adventist members' generous contributions through the 13th Sabbath offering. Once again, a portion of this quarter's 13th Sabbath offering will expand the Taipei Center of Influence as well as help build 2 more centers in Taiwan. It will also benefit projects in China, Mongolia, Japan, and South Korea. Please pray that God will bless the Northern Asia-Pacific region through our contributions this quarter.
Watch this and other mission stories online by visiting AdventistMission.org, then click on videos at the top.
The Seventh-day Adventist Church has designated the 4th Sabbath in August as End It Now Emphasis Day.
Emily Mistrapa is here to share how your church can get involved to address the issues of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse.
Seventh-day Adventists affirm the dignity and worth of each human being and decry all forms of physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. End It Now is a global initiative to raise awareness and advocate for the end of violence around the world. It aims to mobilize Seventh-day Adventists around the world and invites other community groups to join in to resolve this worldwide issue. The 4th Sabbath in August has been designated as End It Now Emphasis Day. This year's focus is Words That Wound, the Trauma of Emotional Abuse. The End It Now Emphasis Day will provide an opportunity for local churches to address the issue of abuse, to educate church members and leadership, to facilitate awareness in their communities, and to let the victims know that their church cares about them. Women's ministries directors in the local churches should plan very early so that this day can be a part of the local church planning. Work closely with your pastors, keeping them informed. The General Conference Women's Ministries Department has provided a resource packet. You can find these resources and more information at women.adventist.org/enditnow-day. End It Now seeks to increase personal awareness, responsibility, and involvement to effectively help end violence in every family and community.
And finally, for today's episode, let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history.
This week, during meetings in Zurich, Switzerland, European Adventists discussed sending some of the denomination's first missionaries to Africa.
Welcome to This Week in Adventist History. On July 22, 1843, Julia A. Burgess was born in the U.S. state of Ohio. She became a Seventh-day Adventist in Michigan at the age of 21, and in 1868, aged 25, she married John O. Corliss, prominent Adventist evangelist, missionary, and defender of religious liberty. As her obituary records, she accompanied him in all his travels, going abroad in mission work 3 different times, twice to Australia, once to England. Julia and John had 5 children, 3 of whom died in mission fields, a reminder of the cost to being an early Adventist missionary. In August 1912, Julia died in Glendale, California, where John was speaking at the Southern California camp meeting. She was 69 years old. The church co-founder John Loughborough, former General Conference President George Irwin, and the then General Conference Secretary William Spicer were among those who spoke at the funeral service, testified to the universally high esteem in which Julia was held by Adventists. Exactly 80 years later, July 22, 1923, was the last day of a week-long European Mission Council held in Zurich, Switzerland. W.A. Spicer, by this time the General Conference President, preached a series of sermons and presided over the business meetings, attended by hundreds of church leaders from across the European division. It laid plans for reigniting mission in Europe after the tremendous destruction and dislocation of World War I. And plans were laid too for sending missionaries and money from Europe to Africa, the Middle East, and parts of Asia. These plans were to be largely realized in the following years, as European Adventists volunteered for the mission field in relatively large numbers, laying the foundations for the recent explosive growth of the church in Africa. And that was This Week in Adventist History.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
We'd love to hear from you. Send us your feedback and tell us how your church is making a difference in its community.
And be sure to capture plenty of video footage and photos, then write up a summary of the event's important details. Feel free to send full video reports as well.
You can reach us by sending an email to annvideo11@gmail.com.
Before we say goodbye, here's some good news from the book of Proverbs, chapter 22, verses 22 and 23.
The passage says, "Don't walk on the poor just because they're poor, and don't use your position to crush the weak, because God will come to their defense. The life you took, He'll take back from you and give back to them."
Amen. Love God. That's our program for this week. And remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.